one of the models that we do use in that. And when you first discussed it with me, it made sense to me, which was the trust quotient. Do explain that a little bit, because I think it's really important.
Yeah, it's the work of David Meister establishing professional trust and how it's actually developed. And if you like, we've got a trust coefficient between you and I.
Yeah.
You've got a trust coefficient between you and your audience when you're presenting to them. There's a trust coefficient between you and your team that you manage and lead. As a senior executive, you've got a trust coefficient with the most junior person in your organization. And the way they decide how much they can trust you is driven by three things. Number one, it's, are you credible? How credible are you? Now, credibility is quite often to do a little bit with the qualifications, the position, the reputation that you have, what people say about you. Credibility. Having said that, it's very easy to try and overstretch the credibility and push the credibility too hard. And I'll come back to that when we look at the counterproductive factor. So credibility is the first one. Reliability is another, which is, will this person show up? So every time you're late for a meeting, or every time you cancel a meeting at the last minute, or every time you're not there when you said you were going to be there, you lose a few points on the reliability score. That will reduce the trust level. So it's credibility plus reliability.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting to start to trust you. The third one, and what the research showed was the most powerful, is intimacy. So are you showing me that you know me? Wow. Now that's a completely different thing. When we start broadcasting our brand messaging and we start talking about how clever we are, and we talk about how big we are and how many countries we operate in, we're doing what we call self-orientation, self-promotion. And actually the research shows that reduces trust. So often when I'm hosting these big summits, someone will come out and maybe it's a sponsor who's paid a lot of money to have 20 minutes in front of 1,000 people. And the first thing they do is say, well, I'm here to talk about innovation, but before I do that, let me just give you a few stats. And they spend half the presentation boasting about the company. And you can actually see the audience lifting their phones up and starting to text and starting to go onto the social media.
Also, it creates a really bad impression, because suddenly you're wasting my time. I didn't come here for that. I didn't come in
how big your company is, or how many sales you've got, or how many offices you've got. I came here for you to help me solve my problem. That's why I'm listening to you.
And I'm giving my time.
And I'm giving my time to you. So the key is obviously that presenter needs to immediately walk out on stage and embody someone who's connected with themselves authentically, that they're credible, that they're reliable, but the sooner that they can create some intimacy rather than go for the self-orientation, the more people are going to put those phones down and start leaning forward in the chair. Yeah. And the research has shown that it's self-orientation that destroys trust. And I'm sure you can think of famous political leaders that through their self-orientation create a really, really bad feeling of, I can't trust this person, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also shows an element. So we talked a little bit about respect, respect your audience and the time that they're giving you and what they are here to listen to. They are literally giving you something, so you need to give value back to them. But also that aspect of it shows a certain element of unpreparedness if people are coming up and just reading from a script, because it doesn't make me feel as if it's being delivered for me.
No. I mean, I've seen a major brand walk out in front of 1,200 managers, middle managers and executives who'd given up their day to come and hear presentations, including this major brand. It was the keynote plenum slot. And they started talking through these slides and kept turning to read off the slides that were behind them on this huge stage, with this huge wide thing. And halfway through, they turned to the audience and said, I'm sorry, these are not my slides. Yeah. I mean, how much money are you going to spend creating a negative touch point than creating a situation like that, So the damage to that brand, that major brand, it made them look out of date, it made them look disconnected, it made them look redundant and irrelevant for 1,200 influential people in 20 minutes. And this person was paid a salary to do that.
Yes.
And my brain is going, why is the organisation allowing this to happen? Why aren't you bringing all of the people who communicate internally and externally to reflect your brand, to show them how to create this intimate connection with the brand values of your organisation? Why aren't you doing it? Because the impact on your organisation by putting the soul back into your brand can be huge.
Absolutely. And going back to your sort of point about tips and tricks and presentation styles, and, that absolutely fundamentally goes against that fact that a good presenter does X, Y, and Z. A good presenter looks like this. A good presenter has all of these things. I mean, we've worked with so many different people that when you get their personality coming through, the difference is the connection. That's, not everybody is going to like everybody. That's absolutely fine. But if you put a saccharine person up there, it's not going to make a connection at all. So look at how people can come across as individuals. And we've had people who are funny. We've had people who are very dry. We've had people who are soft-spoken. We've had people with a whole ton of energy. But actually, all of those are really important characteristics that can be developed.
To watch the full episode, please go to the Transform UK channel and maybe consider subscribing. Or don't, but probably do. Definitely do.